aka the Funnel Helper. And today I want to get a couple things off my chest. Okay, I want to get a couple things off the chest today. So here's what we're going to be talking about. I want to talk about the simple thing you have to do in order to make this year one of the best years ever. All right, make this year one of the best years ever, and here's how you do it. I'm a little nervous, but I'm walking into who I am. All right. So this year, how to make the most of your year. All right. You have to, because each one of us have limited resources. All right. Believe it or not, we all got limited resources. So I'm going to show you how to maximize those limited resources. Now you may say, hey, I ain't got no limited resources. I'm unlimitable, right? I got a whole lot going on. Well, in actuality, there's a couple things that we do have some limitations. One's our time, right? So we really got to become really effective on how we're using our time. The other one is we're limited on our energy. Now, I don't know about you, but this year I'm going to be years old, right? So as I get closer and closer to I realize that I have less and less energy. That means I really got to be strategic on how I'm using that time. And there's limited money. So we all have these limited resources, time, energy, and money. And so here is what you have to do. Here is the single word that will help you. I'm going to give you your word for the year. Come on, Lee. Come on. All right, that was a little extra. So here's the word: assess. That's right, assess. My pastor, Pastor Jomo Cousins, shout out to Pastor J. He called it a checkup from the neck up. Right. So you have to do what's called a checkup from the neck up. I like to call it an assessment. So in your business, here's some things you have to assess. Number one, all right. Number one, the first thing you have to assess is, what do you have to work with? Okay. Write it down. Hey, what do I have to work with this year in order to make 2017 the best year? Let me identify what it is that I have to work with. So when you do that, you say, oh, okay. You can look back at past experiences and say, okay, maybe I have experience with children, or I have experience in my career, or etc. You know, there's a story about a lady. She was getting toward the end of her limited resources, right? And then the prophet said, hey, what you got to work with? She's like, well, really, I ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? Why did I do this? Really, I ain't got nothing. Really? I don't have anything that I can be using. But the limited resource she had was, she said, you know what? Actually, I do have this cruise of oil, you know, and that's something that I have. The guy said, you know what? Go ahead and use that, right? So in your assessment, find out what it is you have to work with. When I looked at myself, right, I say, Lee, what is it that I have to work with? Well, first, I was like, I got this killer smile. Right? So I got this killer smile. I said I have expert funnel knowledge, right? So I've been building and making sales funnels for a couple of years. So I have this expertise in building online sales and marketing funnels. And then I said, you know what? I really think I have the ability to teach systematically. So I said, you know what? Let me use this killer smile, my expert funnel knowledge, right? And my ability to teach systematically. I'm going to use that. So step number one, check, see what you got. All right, cool. This is what I got. Next thing you got to do is you assess what worked and what didn't work, right? So as you look through the year, you say, you know what? In 2017, what are some of the things that worked and what are some of the things that didn't work, right? So I realized that, hey, when I come at my wife a certain way, that didn't work. So, okay, note to self, right? Note to self, don't do that no more because that don't work. Right? But you have to also look and say, in my business, what worked and what didn't work. So I realized that last year I did maybe five Facebook Lives the whole year, right? But I picked up a couple clients and I'm saying to myself, wait a minute. that worked. So why did I stop doing it? Because I didn't do an assessment to see what worked and what didn't work. So you have to look and say, hey, that worked. I'm going to keep doing it, right? So last year I spoke at a couple events. I went out, did my little speaking thing. The no limit profit equation. Go ahead and broke that down. I picked up a couple clients and I'm like, wait a minute, that worked, right? So why did I stop doing what's worked? You have to do an assessment this year. What worked last year and what didn't work? And then you go ahead and continue the thing that's working. So I had to ask myself, okay, Lee, what didn't work last year? Well, I tried to do some Twitter advertising, right? That didn't work as well for me, probably because I don't really have a presence on Twitter, right? So I said, you know what? That didn't work for me. So this year, let me pull back some of the Twitter advertising budget because that didn't work. But maybe I should put it more toward Facebook because that worked. Maybe I should put it more toward some other things, those things that are working. See, hey, how you doing, Levada? Good to see you. Good to see you. So you have to start thinking on what's working and what's not working. This year we're doing an assessment. Speaking of assessment, hey, Levada, I'm learning to be systematic, right? So I know you can appreciate that. What worked and what didn't work. Facebook advertising worked for me, right? Facebook advertising worked pretty well for me. So I'm going to keep using it. In this year, you have to assess what worked and didn't work. That's number two. Number one, you have to assess what it is you have to work with. And whatever you got to work with, that's what you use. Now, the third thing you got to assess is what has changed in your industry or market and how will you adjust. Okay? One saying I like to say, when things change, things change. That's deep. I'm going to say it again. When things change, things change. What that means is, in whatever market you're in, right? I work in a couple of different markets with speakers or coaches. I work with small business owners, etc. So I see that some things have changed, right? Google Local, the way that does, things have changed. When things change, things change. So I have to say, you know what? Online, what are some of the things that have changed? Well, last year there was this thing called Blab, right? So people were doing Blab, Blab, Blab. Well, Blab is gone, okay? And I don't think it's coming back. I read the thing the other day. It ain't coming back. So, all right, that means things change. So now I have to adjust to, okay, maybe Facebook Live should be more of a thing. There also, I've noticed that in my industry, there's a whole lot more funnel builders and funnel experts popping up. Hey, I build sales funnels. Hey, I build sales funnels. I'm like, yeah. So how am I going to change, right? When things change, things change. So how am I going to change? Well, I say this year, I'm going to start showing off that expertise a little bit, right? So not only when I'm on stages, but like in a Facebook Live type environment or the other type environment, I'll be able to show that I'm an expert. So throughout the year, this one is more of a mindset piece. We're talking about assessments for the new year, but we'll definitely go into lead generation. We'll go into checking out metrics. Oh, I got this killer thing where I figured out how to assess what I need to make per day per funnel in order to make it effective, right? So stay tuned. That won't be today. That'll have to be another one. But so when things in your industry change, you have to change, right? Fullest Extent Media, aka the Funnel Helper. You know what I'm saying? I'm rebranding as a little bit of the Funnel Helper this year. Why? Because things change. So in assessing, you got to assess what do you have to work with, right? Hey, I think I have speaking to work with, and this smile, I'm going to keep throwing that smile. I got that to work with. What has changed in my industry and how will I adjust? Now, where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? So there's a buddy of mine. His name was Charles Hazelton. Charles Hazelton told me, he said, Lee, I live my life saying yes. I lived my life saying yes, and it got me into trouble. Charles, good brother, but he actually ended up on drugs and got into wrong people, etc. But Charles always knew how to make money. I say, Charles, how did you have a $80,000 drug habit? He's like, because I'm an entrepreneur and I always knew how to make money, But he said, my problem was I said yes. He says, I kept saying yes. So he said that his real power came from when he learned how to say no, right? He learned how to say no. So his power came from saying no. And how does that relate to where do you want to go? Well, when you identify where you want to go, then you have the ability to say no. Wiki. You know what I'm saying? I might have to add rapper to my list of things I'm good at. No, I'm just kidding. But Charles said when he learned what to say no to, he knew what to say yes to, right? So by saying no, he really was able to identify where he wanted to go, and things got a whole lot better for him. So this year, making 2017 your best year, 4 simple things, and I'm going to get out your way. I know we're busy people. You have to assess. The first thing you have to assess is what do you have to work with, right? What do you have to work with? I got expert funnel knowledge and ability to teach systematically, so I'm going to kill that. What worked and what didn't work, right? Twitter advertising didn't quite work for me, so I'm going to kill that. Facebook advertising seemed to be doing pretty well. Picked up some clients from Facebook Live. Guess what? Your brother's on Facebook Live. Because I see what worked and what didn't work. I spoke at some events, so I'll be speaking at some events. Hey, Gladys Diggs, Arlene. The third thing, assess what's changed in your industry and how will that affect how you market. Well, Blab is gone. Can't use it anymore. Things have changed. Facebook Live is here, right? So now I'm jumping on that a little bit. People claim to be funnel helpers or funnel experts. So now, well, they don't claim to be funnel helpers because I'm Lee, aka the funnel helper. But people claim to be funnel experts. So how am I going to position myself? Because the market has adjusted. There's a lot more competition as people are like, hey, I build sales funnels, so I gotta change my skilo a little bit. And then the next thing you gotta assess is where you want to go. Because when you know where you want to go, you can say no. Wiki. Oh wait, I did that last time. Wiki. So that's what I got. This year, remember, we have limited resources. Your time, your energy, and your money. By making an assessment, how will I position? She's... I was like, yes. I thought you were asking me, Dakisha, how I'm going to position myself. Well, I'm positioning myself as the funnel helper, and there's really 4 killer funnels. Let me do that again. 1, 2, 3. There's 4 killer funnels that I'm really going to build this business around. You'll hear more about that coming soon. But this is the year. Check up from the neck up. And my name is Lee Fuller, aka the Funnel Helper. I thank you for watching. And I'll see you. I'm going to try to do these a little bit. Yes, that's how you spell wiki. I see you. I'm going to try to do these a little bit more often. Because I'm assessing what's working. So now I gotta do it. And thank you for the thumbs up. This gives me really encouragement. If you saw the beginning of it, I was a little nervous, but now I'm starting to get into it. You know what I'm saying? But this is real. This is real talk. And I'm gonna be a little transparent with you. For a while, I said I wasn't gonna do it, right? Because I was like, hey, I don't have my green screen up and I don't have all this other stuff. I said, you know what? Just go do it. I talked to some of my mastermind brothers this morning. They say, Lee, just get out there and do it. Just get out there and do it. If you got the content, people will come. And I got the content. I got the knowledge. Because when I did the assessment, like I said, one of the things is the ability to do this. And this is what I do. All right. Thank you for your time. I love you too, Cynthia Blue. All right. Start with where you at. There you go. Keeping them coming. Oh, I will. Thank you, Yvette. I will keep them coming. Post below this video if you, I guess on the side, but what type of topics do you want to hear coming from me? There's this thing called the curse of knowledge. So like sometimes I want to talk about various things like, hey, here's the certain metrics that we should be looking at, but I want to know where you are, what type of things I should be talking about so that I can assess your needs. And go ahead and deliver for you. But again, we're busy people. I got work to do. You got work to do. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.